This is a video on bearings, and we're going to look at 4 things. What is it? What do we need to know? How to do it? And some application questions. So the very first thing is, what is it? Well, it really is just a way to measure angles from one place to another. And skills you kind of need. So the very first thing is you do need to know how to use a protractor. And the second thing is to know a little bit about parallel angle laws. Not so much, but you're probably going to use it anyways. Okay, so what do we need to know? There are 3 rules basically. North line, always clockwise, and 3 figures. What that means is whenever you're looking at a point itself, you need to go north, so go straight up, and then afterwards, when you're actually measuring the angle, you always have to go in a clockwise direction. So clockwise direction. And lastly, it has to be represented or expressed in 3 figures. So let's say you got 45 degrees as an angle. Well, you can't really say that. You have to say as 0.45, 0.90, 135, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at the question itself. So there are 2 points, A and B, and they're asking you what is the bearing of B from A and what is the bearing of A from B. Now, whenever you learn this type of question, the typicality is that most people try and use a protractor and try and measure it. However, if you see this not drawn to scale, then you should stop right away, because first of all, that's a trap and they don't want you to really measure it. They want you to look at the angles by itself. So let's tackle this question. The very first thing is, it says, what is the bearing of B from A? So B from A itself. So remember the 3 rules. The very first thing is north line. So we go on point A, go north line. Second, we measure clockwise. And lastly, this needs to be represented in 3 figures. Now, they've given us the angle itself 62 degrees. So our answer has to include 62, but because 3 figures, it would be 0.62. The next part, it says, what is the bearing of A from B? So in this case, A from B. Now it's tempting to go, well, let's go this way, to go here and just say the angle. However, it says north line and always clockwise. So you gotta go north and clockwise this way. Now, in terms of parallel angle laws, this is where it actually comes and applies. Because this angle and this angle, if you just extend the line a little bit, are exactly the same. And looking from the bottom, it's actually 180 degrees. So if you add the 2 together, we're going to get 242 degrees as our answer. So once again, north line, so you have the point north line, always clockwise, in this case this way, and 3 figures. Now, you know how the previous question has not drawn scale? Some questions don't have that. And in those questions, you're probably going to use a protractor. So in this case, it says, find the bearing of B from A, along with the bearing of A from B. So they're asking for 2 things here. So let's tackle the very first one. B from A. So it's always a good idea to draw a line first in this case. Connect the 2. Afterwards, place a protractor on here with the 0 degrees on this side, and then you go downwards, so 10, 20, 30, all the way into here, and you're like, well, it's really just 100. So the bearing of B from A would be 100 degrees. Your next one would be A from B, and like you already know, north line, clockwise, and you go from there. Now in this case, you probably don't need to use a protractor, but just in case you do, you already know that this and this are going to be the same angle, and then the bottom one is going to be 180. So if you add them together, you're going to get your answer as 280. Okay, here's some application questions. One more to follow after this, and pause if you'd like to have a go. Okay, the answer is as follows. It says here, what is the bearing of B from A? So in this case, from A, you go north line, clockwise. You already know the 40 degrees, but you know this side, it's going to be 180. So if you add them together, 220. Next one, measure the bearing of B from A. So from A, you gotta go clockwise. However, in this case, it's actually to be smart to go this way, do anti-clockwise, and you measure it to be 30 degrees or so. And because you know the whole entire circle is 360, all we need to do is 360, take away the 30, and from here all the way here, it'd be 330. The next one, it says draw a line that is a bearing of 105 from A. So in this case, you go to A, 0 degrees all the way to 105, just draw a line, and that'll be it. Next question is another application question. So pause if you'd like to have a go or mentally think as to what the answer would be. Okay, the answer is as follows. The bearing of boat M from A is 50 degrees. The bearing of boat M from B is 300 degrees. In the space above, draw an accurate diagram to show the position of boat M. Mark the position of X and label M. So easy enough. You go to A, and remember it doesn't say it's not drawn scale. Go to A, 50 degrees, draw a line. Second one, go to B, you go to 300 degrees. The thing is, like I said before, you can do it this way, or be a little bit smarter and do 60 degrees. 360 take away 60 is 300. And then whenever it intersects, you know that's the location of boat M. So label it M, and that'll be it. Anyways, this is it for the video. If there are any questions at all, please leave a comment. Thank you.